right, Luka, it wasn't always easy tonight. What did you guys do better in the fourth quarter to pull away from Utah?
Let's get some stops. It's a couple stops in a row, and then we scored in the other end. I make two threes in a row, which was a miracle. So we went from there.
Yeah, you were a little cold, but got those done when it counted. How about Marcus Smart, 3 for 3 from 3 early in the quarter?
Great. I mean, great. He's been just great. But his intensity on defensive end, that's what helps us on the offense. He got to stop fouling a little bit, but other than that, he's good.
All right, Billy Mack was talking about on the broadcast, Jackson Hayes in 7 games against Utah is perfect from the field. You contributed to that tonight, threw him a lot of alley-oops. What did you see from him?
I mean, me and him have a special connection, I think, just on the lobs. You know, every time I see somebody's behind, I mean, he's behind the pick and roll, I'll throw that up. I know he can fly, so that's a good chemistry right there.
All right, so you guys are 12-3, I believe, on the road now for the season. I know you take some pride in trying to silence buildings. What have you guys put together away from home so far?
Yeah, somebody was talking to me in the second quarter, so it got me fired up. But that just explained. It's always tough to play on the road. 12-3, I think it's an amazing record, and we got to build on that.
All right, Luka, happy holidays. Thanks again for the e-bike.
Thank you.
All right, Billy, back to you.
Yes. They win in Utah. They survive 18 threes from the Utah Jazz. They put up a season-high 143 points. And, guys, a monster game from Luka Doncic, a 40-point triple-double. They took care of the basketball tonight. Yeah. Season low, 7 turnovers. They got a great game from LeBron, and role players stepped up. Good balance tonight as well, James. 6 players in double figures.
I like the balance. Obviously, Luka led the team. You know, he's going to get his points. But I thought the role players tonight really stepped up. I thought Hayes was a big factor. He altered shots, got some rim runs and some alley-oops. I thought Jake played a very crucial role in his hustle plays and some of the things he was able to do. And then Marcus, you know, knocking down big shots before he fouled out. But, you know, the Lakers, they gave up a lot of points. I thought it was an all-star game in the first half.
But
other than that, they held on, came back in the second half and collapsed the defense a little bit and hit some shots and got the W on the road.
Yeah, I think that started the fourth quarter defensively is what kind of set the tone for them. Both teams kind of slowed down. We kind of predicted this to be in the 130s and 140s, and it ended up being that. So everybody scored, bench production, starters production. Everybody got a chance to get some baskets tonight. But the Lakers were the first team to kind of get some stops, slow it down. Early in that fourth quarter, they were able to take advantage and take the lead when they were down, you know, double digits at one point. But then they turned it up, and then toward the end, it still kind of went back and forth. Some little sloppiness. But they found some moments where they could play some good defense to get them, you know, back in that game.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz scored the 3rd most points in the league, but the Lakers tightened it up when they needed to, and also key rebounds down the stretch. Let's talk Luka Doncic, guys. 40-point triple-double. That's the 10th time in his career he's done that. Only 3 players have done it more. Oscar Robertson, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Also, guys, it's his 24th game with 40 and 10. That passes Tiny Archibald, big game James, for 3rd all time. So I feel like every single night we are saying this. He also has the longest streak ever in Laker franchise history with at least 25 and 5. He did that at halftime tonight in this game.
Geeta, he is that good at the age of 26. You know, a lot of players have a complete toolbox. Very intelligent and knowing, you know, some of those passes he made to Hayes tonight, most people just can't make those or see that. And I just think he's a major asset to any team, but to the Laker team, he gets everybody involved, and just the way he just can control a game with the ball in his hand, it's just pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he is a system, right? He kind of creates the system of how he plays. And we were talking earlier, it's crazy how easy he makes it look when he scores 35, 40, 45. You know, the other night he had 35, and you're like, you know, it looked like he had an off night or wasn't as impactful, but he's still scoring. It's not easy to score 35 points, and he does it every night in, night out. Not only is he doing that, but he's rebounding, he's finding guys, and the risky passes that most guys are scared to make, he throws it on a dime, and he connects most of the time. So, end of the game, Jackson Hayes, he just throws it up
from half court.
Like, what are you doing? It's like, you know, 40 seconds. We don't need a turnover. Completes the play, makes it very easy. He's done it time and time again, and he said he's on the money. So he's a very good quarterback and a very good scoring guy as well.
Guys, I want to talk that fourth quarter all around for the Lakers. They outscored the Jazz by 12. They were able to open up that 12-point lead, James. The three ball started falling. They started getting stops. They also got out and run. They did a nice job in transition tonight with 24 fast break points. They won that battle 24-9. They also won the battle in the paint 58-42. Another good fourth quarter on the road.
Yeah, it was going to be about opportunities, and then I think the Lakers really ran their offense pretty good. Got people involved. This Jake LaRavia, I thought, as I mentioned, really had a solid game. And the defense just picked up, did what they had to do, got the stops they needed in the fourth.
And I think the turning point was my guy, shoot your shot guy, Marcus Smart, hitting those 3 threes. You know, they didn't expect that to happen in the fourth quarter before he fouled out. Obviously, he had a good stretch, even defensively, trying to get physical with Keontae George. Didn't go his way. But those 3 threes kind of opened up the game for the Lakers and kind of got them a comfortable lead.
Danny, you lead me right to where I want to go. Check this out right here. I mean, we talk about the Laker role players stepping up tonight. Jackson Hayes. What a performance, a perfect performance. He was 7 for 7.
He hasn't missed a shot against the Utah Jazz, right?
He has not missed a shot against the Utah Jazz. 17 points for Marcus Smart. You just talked about it, 6 of 11, but the 5 of 9 for 3. So you combine there, that's 33 points from the guys who are filling in for DeAndre Ayton and Austin Reeves.
Yeah, had a heck of a night. And Marcus Smart, I think the last 3 games, he's shooting close to 50% from 3. He had a big night against San Antonio, I think hitting like 8 of them. Obviously, Phoenix struggled a little bit, 1 for 5, but tonight, 5 for 9, that's huge. So most scouting reports are letting him shoot. And for him to attack that, or I guess rebuttal the scouting reports, or just kind of tear up the scouting report by making them pay by letting him shoot, is really hurting teams. You just don't plan for that. And he just, in that fourth quarter, really opened up the lead, or kind of gave him a comfortable situation by hitting those top of the key 3-pointers.
Yeah, I was just looking at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he did it too.
I was looking at his contribution tonight as well. 11 rebounds, Keeter.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of effort.
And how many minutes?
Not many.
Yeah.
Actually, more than usual tonight, right?
25.
25?
He did, well, he did get 25 tonight.
Yeah.
That's a little bit
that's
more.
still
Shorthanded,
that's
though,
a lot of rebounds in 25 minutes.
He was very active. I think 6 of them was on the offensive end.
Yeah.
So he always, he shot the ball. Well,
Yep.
his offense is picking up. He's getting a little more confidence in that 3 ball.
No doubt.
He's been working on it, but it just hasn't come to fruition yet. But I think if he gets time on the floor, when he's playing defense and active, that shot goes down a little bit easier for him.
By the way, we haven't even talked about him because we're getting to the highlights. LeBron James, pretty good game. 28 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds. Let's get you to the highlights. How drunk, big game.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I saw some highlights, and I talked to a lot of people about it. The ending, the bullying that took place, the lead the Lakers had, and then to lose the lead, and then to almost almost lose the game. It wasn't a pleasant way to win, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I missed the beginning part of it, but I walked in right at the perfect time. I was walking into a set, doing a podcast. I walked in right. I missed like the beginning of the 4, but right when the last 2 minutes to go, I walked in right. I was like, oh, 11, it's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a solid win for the Lakers. On the road, Phoenix is a good team. And next things started crumbling. And then all these plays happened, some turnovers, a couple bad shots. They got hot. Dillon hit some shots. Book hit a shot or 2. Gillespie hit a 3. And then a couple calls down the stretch kind of made it mucky. It was messy. But, I mean, as a fan, it was fun to watch to see the back and forth. But as a person that's watching, like as a basketball player, or like if a coach, you will, not that I'm a coach.
Yeah.
You look at like, man, this is really messy.
Yeah, up 20, 7.5 minutes, about to go up 22, and then it was no longer.
Yeah.
But they got the win. So no AR tonight, no DeAndre Ayton, no Gabe Vincent. So LeBron, Luka combo, they'll be your big 2. Luka mentioned this, that he and LeBron had a meeting with JJ, and I'm not sure if it's just those 2 or the whole team, but how he needs a little more on the defensive end from his superstars. And Luka admitted to that, like, hey, I want to get back to where I was in the beginning of the season defensively. But listen, big game, bottom line, those 2 are always going to be the tone setters for this team.
Yeah, of course. And, it's a coach's job to kind of, correct what he sees, correct what he sees on video, what his coaching staff sees. And I think the great ones, they respect that, and they know that they have to, pick it up on both ends of the court. But these guys are professionals, and I think professionals, they kind of accept that constructive monitoring of themselves, constructive criticism, if you will, and they go out and try to, lead as the leaders.
I mean, defense is always going to be an emphasis, right? If you want to win championships, they say it for a reason. With Luka, of course, you want him to play better defense. But for me, when I was watching the game the other night, the last game, it was more so the offense down the stretch and the dry possessions.
Almost playing not to lose.
Yeah, and it just had too many bad shots, too many dry possessions, not enough moving the ball, turnover, like small things. That's how Phoenix got into the game. And give Phoenix some credit. Ryan Dunn had a really good defensive outing. He played it, especially on that last possession against Luka. Luka couldn't get to a step back. He had to throw it to Bron. Bron got fouled. But even before that, there was a lot of plays, too many dry possessions, which ultimately hurts your defense. It's hard to get back in transition. It's hard to guard guys if you turn the ball over or take bad shots or have dry possessions. So even if he doesn't have a great defensive outing, offensively he does better. It makes his defense so much more, look better.
Yeah, and there's always that thing in sports when you have a team on the ropes and they're about to wave the white flag and they give you that one more burst, having that notion and that mindset of putting them away.
Exactly. And
the game with 5 minutes.
They have to find that. They have to find that. And with AR not being there, it's him and Bron. They have to be the closers. They have to be the clutch guys, keep the team poised, and kind of find ways to get the lid off the basket and not only get stops, but get some scores as well.
JJ, some of the threes started to fall in the fourth, but did you see the defense pick up at all in that second half, and especially in the fourth, relative to the first half?
First of all, I want to apologize to you because pregame saw the suit, saw the tie combo. I didn't put it together with the shoes until we got out on the court and you were doing your pregame hit. So just really appreciate it. That's
Thanks,
all.
JJ.
You're welcome.
It's very nice.
Yeah, our defense in the first half was not good. Another game where, it's becoming a theme with our team. They shoot 15 points over expected. They made 5 more threes than expected. I mean, I can count in my brain the ones that were ridiculous shot making. Challenged them at halftime. I thought our defense was much better in the second half. It wasn't perfect. It was much better. The guys that came off the bench, Vando, Maxey, Jake in the second half really changed the game for us with their multiple efforts. And again, another game, another point of emphasis, just, winning the possession battle. You think about like special teams in football and quality control and all that stuff. And it's like, those are the guys that are going to make a difference with that, just getting you extra possessions. Maxey had an amazing chase down block, got the rebound, drew a foul. Vando on the offensive glass. Jake had a big putback in the second half. So again, those guys were excellent.
It sounds almost ridiculous. You look at Luka's stat line, and you could argue he didn't, play his best game for part of the game, but the assist to the low turnovers and some of the shot making late, the free throw line. What did you just see from him overall, and what have you seen from him the last couple of weeks?
Yes, just like stretches of playing excellent and being engaged and executing our stuff defensively, and then stretches where he's not as engaged and isn't executing our stuff defensively. But I would say that's for everybody. I think the biggest thing, he played certainly well enough to lead us to a win, but him and LeBron with 24 assists and 3 turnovers, and we didn't necessarily run. I don't know the volume off. I haven't looked at the stats from tonight, but we didn't necessarily run a ton of pick and roll. It was a lot of off-ball stuff. I don't know if you guys watch baseball, but the third baseman giving all the hand signals. That's something we've been working on so that we don't run into the situation we ran into in Philly where I'm trying to call a play. Phoenix, I'm trying to call a play. Guys don't know what we're doing, so we're using hand signals now like a third base coach in baseball. And I thought our ability to pick that up and execute, get the ball to the right guys, Luka being live on some stuff where he was off ball and then making plays once he got the ball was awesome.
Just following up on the signals, they couldn't hear you in Phoenix and Philly, you're trying to say? And so you had to do a visual cue versus a verbal?
Philly for sure. I don't think they heard me. Phoenix, I think they were tired. And we talked about having the nonverbals and then being able to echo it on the court so everybody knows what we're doing.
You guys were missing like 40-plus points from your starting lineup tonight with no Reeves and no Ayton. And I understand there's been a lot of talk about the defense, and rightfully so, but you put up 143 despite missing those pieces. Just how would you assess your offense at this stage of the season?
Still a lot of work to do. I think part of the struggle, and I use that word very lightly because it's not like a struggle where I'm like sitting there like beating my head against a wall. But part of the struggle as a coach is getting guys to buy into maybe doing something that they're not comfortable with, or that, it's easy to I just want to run pick and roll. It's easy. That isn't always the right thing to do versus a defense. And I felt like tonight, especially, like Luka, LeBron, they really just bought into the off-ball stuff, and we milked a couple plays over and over again. They ended up getting the ball and then either having open shots or driving. So I thought they did a good job of that, and that's going to be a continuous thing throughout the year. Obviously, when you miss Austin, he's actually is our best off-ball player. So, getting those guys to buy in has been good.
JJ, with Keontae George was so effective in the first half. His speed, he's not the first kind of fast guard like that's given you guys some trouble this year. What was the adjustment with him, do you think, specifically in the second half? Where did the containment get better? And as you guys kind of chart forwards with this version of your roster, how important is it that you guys are maybe you might not have a 48-minute defensive effort against like those kinds of players, but that it's good enough when it needs to be?
Well, first of all, George gives a lot of people problems. I mean, the guy's averaging around 25 points a game, or a little under 25 points a game. So he's proven to be a dynamic offensive player. And in terms of adjustments, it was more about doing our things better. I think one thing that happened in the second half was Maxey being on the floor, Nurkic being off the floor allowed us to go to 15, allowed us to switch 1 through 5, and just kind of keeping the ball in front of us. We did a better job with our shifts in the second half. I think all that contributed to it. It wasn't necessarily, hey, we're going to do X, Y, or Z versus him.
You mentioned, not remembering the best right now, but the expected score, they overshot, I think, in the first quarter. I think you said maybe by 50.
No, it was the first half. The expected score we were up 11. They made 5 more threes but that's every game now. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Every team makes shots against us. It's just a fact of life.
How does that, I guess, inform how you coach the team at halftime? And if you are finding that to be a repeated pattern, I guess what do you take away from that?
Very simple. I mean, if we have to make an adjustment, we'll make an adjustment. If you're not doing the things we're asking you to do, then that's on you. It's very simple. We'll make an adjustment, and we have made adjustments throughout the year at halftime. Other times we just show it. This is what we did for the last 2 days. This is what we did this morning at the hotel. This is what we watched on film multiple times. This is not what we did in the game. It's just do it better.
AJ, late in the third quarter, you called a timeout, and you were gesturing. What was your body was moving from where we were sitting. Arms were moving quite a bit. After, I think, since the ball hit the 3, and then you called a timeout, you didn't look very pleased with.
Oh, that wasn't late. Yeah, I know which 3 you're talking about. Yeah,
but at that point, that was another. That's when things sort of
that was another example
of us. What was
your
message to them at that point?
Do what you're supposed to do. That wasn't our defense, and Sensabaugh is a laser. He's on the laser board. Do what you're supposed to do.
And do you think that's spark you guys a little bit more? Because you guys had a good defensive push from that point on, I thought.
The players got to go out and do it. So it's not. I don't know if it sparked them or not. And I just know that after that, they were better.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
It's kind of a unique night with all the calls both ways. When you took the floor to start that fourth quarter, what was the kind of main purpose to set the course? I think it was a 12-2 run or something to kind of turn the game there.
We got to get stops. That was the most important thing. Obviously, we know this Utah team can score a lot of points at a very high rate, but it was very imperative that we got stops. We had to get stops to start that fourth, and then it allowed our offense to click.
Where do you go to when, obviously you always want to get stops, right? But when you really need to buckle down, or are there certain things that you individually or that you can kind of try to get the rest of the guys to circle around there?
It always starts with communication, obviously, and then the point of attack. We got to control the controllables, and we can't make mistakes. We have a game plan, and we have to execute those. And if they make a shot off of that, then okay. But if we're breaking down defensively, and they're making us pay, then those are all mistakes. So throughout the start of the fourth, we didn't make any mistakes there to start the fourth.
You took a pretty good shot to the knee, and probably pretty scary there for a minute. What happened? How were you able to get through it?
What happened?
What'd you feel?
Just a little bolt to the knee, like a sharp pain to the knee. Got a need on it, like on the inside, kind of like the medial side of the knee, and just kind of wanted to take my time a little bit as it, calmed down or whatever the case may be. We're hoping, it calmed down, and told Mike, my trainer, I said we dodged a bullet there.
Look kind of similar to the one where you got hurt at the end of the season last year, a little bit. In the
same side. Yep, same side.
For you, is the uncharted territory is a phrase that comes, you're playing your 23rd NBA season, no one's done that before. For your body to still respond to plays like that in the way that it has throughout your career, does that give you extra confidence as you go through this physically and about where you're at and like maybe you're not as old as I always remind you?
I mean, I was just praying for the best for sure. I mean, like you said, I mean, the miles that I got as far as in the minutes and the years and a little over a week from turning 41, certain plays and certain things that you don't want to happen, and it could be anybody. It don't matter if you're turning 41 or 21. You take a knee to the inside of your knee at that type of speed, it can be alarming. So, like I said, I'm just very grateful and thankful that nothing came out of it at that point. Obviously, we got a flight to get on. That's going to be the most important. How I feel once I get it, on this plane and then laying back in LA. But I think I'll be okay.
Recognize defense has been a point of emphasis for this team, and the offense has been pretty good so far. With that said, JJ said he kind of challenged some of you guys to play with some more off-ball actions. And how could that benefit this group in the long run? As good as you have been offensively, to have a deeper playbook.
Well, you have to have an array of offensive sets and an array of you have to be able to. Your pie chart has to look a lot different. It can't just be ISO or heavy pick and roll or heavy post ups. It has to have a good balance. So and every game is going to have its difference. Some teams play defense differently than other teams, so you have to be able to go into the playbook and go into the toolbox and say, okay, we have this versus this, we have this versus that, and I think we're going to continue to build that. But tonight was a good start for us.
What stands out about the level that Keontae George is playing at this season?
Confidence.
Do you think he's at all-star level so far?
No, I'm the wrong guy to ask that question, champ. I watch YouTube golf these days, so I'm the wrong guy to ask about that. He played great tonight. He played great last time we played him, and he's playing good ball versus us. But yeah, I'm more on the Brian Burrows and Grant Horvat and Bryson DeChambeau and the rest of those guys. So,
what can you say about Luka then? You see him every night, and then tonight is his first 40-point triple-double as a Laker. What can you say about his playmaking tonight?
It's Luka magic, so there's no surprise. He's just so damn good. It's ridiculous.
Following up on Dan's point, is part of all the strength training that you've done over the years to kind of steel your body so that when you do get hit, you might be able to sustain that more than most.
That's been a point of emphasis for me and Mike throughout my whole career, is being proactive and not reactive. Everything that we do in the off season, everything that we do during the season is all about being proactive. If I do take a certain fall, if I do take a certain hit, then maybe if it's you're not out as long as you may have been, or maybe you're able to shake it off. And working every part of my body, I've had a lot of rolled my ankle.
Luka, 45-point triple-double with 5 steals has only been done by one other player in league history since steals have been recorded. Cade Cunningham did it earlier this year. And I think it wouldn't be crazy to say they didn't even play your best game.
It's definitely not crazy.
What'd you make of your production tonight? And in terms of how much you could possibly do, are you kind of just scratching the surface?
Yeah, I think honestly I could do some more, but I think that one turnover is the best stat-wise on this stat sheet. We had 7 turnovers, which is impressive for us, and we won the game. In the end, that's what matters. But I think we locked in a lot in the second half. We did a great job.
What was the conversation like at halftime after giving up 78 points when the last couple of days all the talk's been about defense?
I mean, kind of like, when they have their star player out, we're kind of known for doing that. So, JJ told us we got to go back to see what was on the scouting report, first 3 words. So that's what we did. It was intensity on defense. I think they scored, until there was like 5 minutes to go, they scored 40 points in 18 minutes. Then I don't know what did, but I think our second half was very good.
Yeah, one more for you. It ended up being a clutch game. I mean, it didn't feel like it, but it qualifies as a clutch game. You guys are 10-0 in clutch games this season.
That's how we do it.
That's how you do it? Yeah. Sandbag your way to it. Do you think that is a stat that's indicative of even there are some other maybe discouraging stats with this team right now, but is that a stat that's indicative of this team's potential?
I mean, I think it's pretty awesome to be 10-0 in the clutch. I feel like, when you said, we are 12-3 on the road too, which is not easy at all. Playing on the road is not easy, but it's definitely encouraging. I feel like we can figure out a lot of things down the stretch. I feel like we didn't execute the way we should, so there's a lot of improvement in that for sure.
To piggyback on Dave's stat for you, going into tonight, you guys had the best defense in the NBA in clutch games. Second best now after tonight, but does that sort of speak to like this team's mentality to like lock in when it matters most, and is that always maybe not such a good thing? Like would it be better if it was more a consistent part of the identity of this team?
I mean, it would definitely be better if it would be more consistent, but even the clutch is not bad to be second or first. But I feel like I said before, we have a lot of improvement left. Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else.
Going into the fourth quarter, down 4, what did you do to take control of the game, even when they started bringing traps and doubles towards you?
I was just trying to play my game. I feel like my teammates helped me a lot. That second unit with LeBron, they actually made a difference. Vando, Maxey, who else was coming? Jake, just those people coming on the bench with energy. They give up, everybody lifts. So I think if they don't play, we don't win this game.
Was there anything in particular? Sorry. Was there anything in particular that was being said courtside that like really got you going? It seemed like you had a couple really good, hearty conversations.
Yeah, it was one guy. That was the same guy.
What did you say after the lob to Jackson?
What did I say? I don't remember. Probably said how his night is going. How is he?
Thanks, Luka.
Starting in that fourth quarter, you got 3 threes early in the period. Were you noticing anything about the way they were playing and kind of where you were getting into that gap to get the looks?
Yeah, played me how every other team's been playing me, and how they've played me the last 2 games we played them. I've been shooting the ball well to start the year, so they figured just make them make shots. And tonight I found a rhythm. Shout out to Luka and those guys, LeBron, finding me, and then just being ready to knock down the shot.
What did you guys do at least a little better in the second half, and particularly that start to the fourth on defense tonight? Just
urgency. We picked up our urgency. We were in passing lanes. We were helping one another. Those straight line drives that they were getting, we were putting the body in front of them and making everything as tough as possible. They hit some shots, but we made them work for them a little bit more.
When the game is kind of that tightly called, it seems like on both ends, and you're trying to figure out the rhythms of it, what's the challenge there, and how did you guys do tonight?
It's challenged because as a defender, you already don't have a lot of leeway to play defense. So when the game's getting called like that, it really, makes your job a lot tougher, because any contact you make, even if you're not the one creating it, it's going to be a foul on you. Offense always gets the benefit of the doubt, so it makes it hard. So we have to understand that, and just continue to play through it, and not let it discourage us. And then that's what we did. So it was tough, but that's part of the game. So we figured it out, and that's what we got to continue to do.
The way they were,
is there always a point you think we need to get some consecutive stops.
For sure. For sure.
It can't happen, and it did happen.
For sure. You know, we just are saying, you know, make them miss, don't hope they miss. You know, and it is so true. You know, guys are too good in this league for you to, you know, hope they miss. You know, so we got to get up in guys. We got to make every shot difficult. We got to, you know, make contact early before. Can't let guys be the aggressor. So that's what we did, and you know, they started to miss some shots that they were hitting early on.
What was the frustration for you at halftime? What had you upset?
Must be so
A lot of things, but it's just, like I said, as a defender, you're already at a disadvantage, and when the offensive guy can put his hands on you and make all the contact, and you know, you only have a small margin of error. Your hands got to be this certain way. If it's just a little bit off, it's a foul. But this guy can run full speed at me, duck his shoulder, push me off, and it's nothing. So it's just, that was typical. And then, you know, I'm walking down with my hands up to post up, not running, not going forcefully, just walking, and the guy just falls. Hey, they called it. So it was frustrating. I think everybody was frustrated. You know, I think out of both teams it was around 80 free throws to get today, and that's a lot. So I think everybody was frustrated tonight.
With the Luka's about Luka's playmaking, especially in the fourth.
It was big. It was big time for us. You know, he stayed in mentally. He stayed in there. I know he was very frustrated with a lot of things as well, but he kept his composure, held it together, and you know, did what he does best, and that's control his team and help us come up with this victory.
Oh boy. Jackson, what do you make of the defensive effort, or I guess the changes defensively you guys had in the second half, really late in the third, going into the fourth, compared to where you guys were at early in the game?
Max and Vando just came in and really changed the game, and they were killing it today. I don't really think I need this one. It's just us three. But they really impacted winning today, and Jake too. So those guys just came in and brought us a spark.
JJ, I mentioned him that you're missing DeAndre and Austin. That's like 40-plus points in the starting lineup. You come in at 16, don't miss a shot, and for a team you score 140. Where do you think the offense is? And JJ said he was asking you guys to implement some off-ball stuff. How do you think that wrinkle can help?
I feel like offensively our team's, one of the most skilled offensive scoring teams in the league. It's just every night we got to come out and play defense and fly around and play team defense. When we don't, that's when we have games like tonight. But I feel like with our offensive system and with the guys we have, we can come out and score every night.
There was a stretch between halftime and like midway through the third where I think it was Marcus, you, and Luka all picked up techs. During a point in the game, it seemed like the game could kind of go either way. You guys were trailing. What was said either from other players or the coaching staff to help you guys regain your composure and help you guys? I think you guys tied the game late in the third and ultimately took it back over in the fourth.
Everyone was just talking about how we're still there and keep our heads, and just not like telling all those guys we got a tech not to get a second one. It was really just everyone just trying to keep each other calm because, obviously that was a pretty crazy game. Just the guys trying to keep everyone calm.
What was it like at halftime? You gave up 78 points after all the emphasis on defense leading up to tonight.
Yeah, halftime was just straight about defense. Coming into half, what we had, I can't do math right now, but
78, 73.
Yeah, 74. No, 73, you're right. Yep. And then, so it wasn't about offensive side. Like, we were executing on offense. It was just all about defense. We came in at half, and that was just our emphasis.
You have the ice pack. You all right physically?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Be okay for the Clippers game?
Yeah. I'll be fine.
Thanks, Jackson.
All right, thank you.
I think that's what play was it?